Lesson 52. The One True Church. How do we know that no other church but the Catholic Church is the true Church of Christ? We know that no other church but the Catholic Church is the true Church of Christ because no other church has these four marks. No other church is one, holy, Catholic, and apostolic. Truth cannot change. The constantly changing doctrines of non-Catholic churches cannot be true. 1. All other Christian churches lack essential unity. They are not one. They differ in doctrine, in worship, in government. There are hundreds of Christian denominations, each different from the rest. They do not or cannot agree and keep dividing and subdividing year by year. These churches, founded by human beings after Christ's ascension, differ in even the essentials of faith. In trying to accommodate themselves to the changing conditions of the times, they have made changes in doctrine with no authorization from the founder of Christianity. Outside the Catholic Church, there is generally no recognition of authority in spiritual matters. No organization has been blessed with infallibility except the Catholic Church. In fact, no other church even attempts to claim infallibility. In religious matters, non-Catholic churches recognize no spiritual authority except their own judgment, and this, as we all know, can easily lead to error. Non-Catholic churches vary in practice as well as in doctrine. In worship, they are guided more by personal conviction and interpretation than by strict belief in the truths given to the world by Christ. Realizing the great handicap of disunity, efforts have been made or are being made by various groups of churches to organize. General councils and conferences of different bodies have been held, but there is no vital result for unity. This is, of course, because, though agreement may be general concerning matters such as social work, beneficent societies, and the like, no agreement can be found in the essentials of faith and doctrine. This is the result of free interpretation of the Bible and the repudiation of Peter's successor, Vicar of Christ. Neither do non-Catholic denominations have unity in government. They recognize no superior authority vested in one who is Vicar of Jesus Christ. They call themselves Christian, but reject the authority conferred by the Son of God on the Pope, direct successor of St. Peter. Some recognize the temporal ruler as their spiritual head. Others have ministers whom they call bishops, deacons, elders. The majority reject such titles. Holy. The denominations are not holy in the same way or degree as the Catholic Church. Among their followers there are, no doubt, many upright and saintly people. But this is due not to what is Protestant or schismatic in their religion, but to the elements of the Catholic religion which they have preserved. All Christians venerate and meditate the gospel. Many have a deep devotion to our Lord. The Orientals have the sacrifice of the Mass and all the Catholic sacraments. The Protestants have retained at least valid baptism. All these are effective means of grace and holiness. The Protestants, however, have rejected some of the Christian means of holiness. Most of the sacraments, traditional asceticism, religious life with the evangelical councils. On some points, as birth control and divorce, they have relaxed the law of God. No denomination is Catholic or universal. These non-Catholic churches are everywhere, but are different everywhere. A regional or national church cannot be the true church, since it cannot teach all nations as Christ commanded. The Church of England cannot be the universal church. Its very name declares it a national and not the universal or true church. Apostolic. No Protestant denomination is apostolic. The Protestant churches are some 1,500 years later than the church founded on the rock of Peter. Not even their teachings come down from the apostles. Their ministers cannot trace their succession from the apostles. Not one teaches all the doctrines of the apostles. How then could they be the church founded by Christ? Are not all religions the same? No, for truth and error are not the same. Faith and unbelief are not the same. God is not divided. He revealed only one religion, We either believe that religion or do not believe it. There is no middle way. He who is not with me is against me. Anything that is not the whole truth is not truth. Christ said, I am the way and the truth and the life. No man comes to the Father but through me. No one will assert that glass is as good as diamonds, nor that brass is as good as gold. No one claims that an imitation is just as good as the authentic thing. More unreasonable then would it be to claim that a religion established by a man is as good as that founded by the incarnate God. From the very beginning of mankind there has been one true religion. From Adam to the coming of Christ, this religion was preserved by the patriarchs, prophets, and others chosen by God to keep the knowledge of the promised Redeemer intact. Before the coming of Christ, this true religion was kept by the Jews, the chosen people. All other nations had degenerated and worshipped idols, false gods. In spite of the imperfections of the old religion preserved among the Jews, it was always the true religion, the one true religion. It foreshadowed the coming of the perfect religion, that established by the Son of God, Jesus Christ, who then abrogated the Jewish faith, the old law, in favour of the new faith, the new law. It is absurd to suppose that God does not care whether men denounce his Son as an impostor and blasphemer, or worship him as God. Why should Christ, and after him the apostles, and after them a long line of believers, have suffered so much and resisted persecution so firmly if it were of no importance what a man believed? The apostles said, There is no other name under heaven given to men whereby we must be saved.